Welcome to MJ Hobby Corner. This is an MJ solo game. And for today, I will be doing a short demo on 5150 Total War Tanks and Mechs. All right, this is a new war game rule set that I purchased from Wargames Vault. And I had posted in my community tab that I was pretty excited because I purchased a few the new games from Wargames Vault, including some expansions for some existing games that I have. And so, little by little, I will be releasing videos on these new games and expansions. So this is one of the games I purchased, and I've been very interested in trying 5150 for a long time. Now, this is the newer version of the rules. It's a bit more streamlined than previous rules. For any of you that have played 5150 in the past, and I've played some of the older versions of 5150, you know that it's a very RPG style of game. There's, just a lot of detail to it, and definitely a very cool RPG style game. Well, in this case, the rules are more streamlined. They're a little different than your traditional Star Army or Ground Forces 5150 game, because this deals with vehicles. So very important, I do recommend that you get Star Army Total War. That's the new streamlined version of the rules, just like this one. This game, Tanks and Mechs, is an addition to Star Army. So the game mechanics are based on Star Army, and then they've given you everything with this rule set to add tanks and mechs to your Star Army games. So we do recommend, since this is an addition and expansion pretty much to Star Army, that maybe you get a Star Army first. Now, this is a standalone game, and we are going to be playing it as a standalone game in this video, but I think a lot of things are explained in Star Army that are going to help you out, help you understand a little bit better, I think, what's going on in this rules, okay? Let's take a quick look at the board, okay? It's a small board. One of the advantages of this game is that you can play in very small areas. Now, you will notice a grid here, okay? And this is what's interesting about this game. You will notice this grid, and I made this with twine, and I have it taped on the side of the board. So this way the things don't move, and there's some terrain holding it down or whatever. But there's a grid, and the board has been sectioned off into 9 squares here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, the interesting thing is that each of these little boxes is called a battle board, okay? Now, units can only see each other when they enter the same battle board. If there is a unit out there, even if it's out in the open, we cannot interact with it. It only, once it comes into my little battle board here, then it's fair game, okay? And both units can see each other. There is no measuring. There is no measuring range or anything like that. You basically eyeball distances when you're playing in this version. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to play like this. There are different ways of playing this game. You can play it as a traditional war game and measure all your distances, and each unit has a movement in inches, and etc., etc. So if you want to play traditionally and not do the grids, you can do that, okay? However you want to do it, basically. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the grid because it's a lot easier for me to identify the different spaces. So turn 1, and the first thing I do is grab 2 dice, one of each color. I'm going to be the white dice, black dice is Hessian, and what we're going to do is see who activates first. Now, my rep is 5, so I have a pretty good rep. It's the highest it can go. And then the Hessian is rep 4, so they're not too bad either. So we have to roll to see who has the highest, and also who rolls their rep or lower, because that's important. So, all right, well, Hessian rolled a 2. They rolled under their rep, so they're good. However, I rolled a 4, which is not only under my rep, but is also higher than the 2. So I get to react first. And that's how the initiative, so to speak, is done. Okay, so I have a couple of blips on the board. Now, I don't know. I mean, those could be tumbleweeds. They could be giant animals walking around. We don't really know what the scanner is picking up. We know that there's signals coming in from these areas, but those blips could be nothing. Okay, and that's another interesting thing about this game. So what I'm going to do is move my mech, and basically I'm going to move to this battle board right here. Now, I know there's a blip, a scanner blip coming from somewhere in this direction, so I'm just going to face that direction, and that's it. That is my action. So I don't see anything. I don't have anything in line of sight, so I'm just pretty much ending right there. Okay, so now to move a PEF, it is the enemy's turn. To move a PEF, I will choose the closest one to my mech and then continue on the line. Now, PEFs are moved randomly. So all PEFs have a rep of 4. And so I take 2d6. I want to make the black dice, the PEF dice, the Hessian dice for now. And basically, I need to roll a 4 or over. On each dice, however many successes. This is a game of success or failures. So however many successes are passed, I look it up on the table and apply the results. So I rolled a 4 and a 1. That is 2d6 passed, or 2 successes. And looking here at the table, 2 pass means that the PEF moves 8 inches directly towards the nearest enemy, staying in cover at all times. If no cover, will move its full movement out in the open. Well, now, again, we're not measuring because we're using the grids. So basically, he's going to try to move to my section in cover. So the best thing he can do is move right over here. That puts him into cover. Now, here's the thing. So he can see me, and I can see him, because despite the fact that he is in cover, it does not mean cover does not obscure line of sight. Now, if he was behind one of the larger pieces of terrain, like immediately behind it, and the terrain was actually between us, right, then line of sight is obscured. So that's a little technicality, you know, but in this case, we are going to say that there is line of sight because it's very low terrain. So he is in cover, but can be seen. Now, let's roll then. We pick up 2 dice. And what we have to do now is roll against the morale of the PEF. Roll on a table to get morale. The morale is given to you by the faction. So the Hessian Empire is 4. And, you know, that's done before the game. Okay, so morale is 4. So we have to roll 2 dice and see how many successes or failures I may have. So 4. Okay, a 5 and a 6. And because I've had 0 successes, guess what? That PEF is nothing. Turned out to be nothing. So whatever it was on the radar that we were tracking, it was not an enemy force. We're going to move to the next PEF. Now, what happens if all of them are 0? Well, one of them will be eliminated. The last PEF on the table, if it is 0 again, which can happen, then that one becomes an automatic force. Basically, you roll to see what comes on the table. Okay, so usually there will always be one PEF at least that resolves as an enemy force, okay? So, but it could make the game very, very short. So again, this could be a very short game. All right, so same thing. We're going to roll against a rep of 4, which we're always counting the number or under. Okay, so rep of 4. I have 2 successes, a 4 and a 1, so that is 2 successes. So that PEF is going to move. So now that the PF has moved, it can see me, and I can possibly see it. So it's going to resolve. And this is against the morale, so 4 or under. A 5 and a 1, so 1 success. Something is out there, okay? So the next time I try to resolve it, it's going to use 3d6, counting the lowest 2d6 results. Okay, and if this is the last PEF on the table, then treat it as if it passed with 2d6, which means it would resolve itself. So again, you're always going to have at least 1 force on the table. So he's going to stay there. So something is out there. It's possibly an enemy. Possibly a foraging dinosaur, I don't know, or a tumbleweed, okay? But next time, it's going to resolve with a 3d6, okay? So I'm just going to mark that to make sure I remember. All right, so let's roll this PEF and see what it is. All right, so this time I had 2 successes, a 2 and a 1. So it is going to move forward. It's going to try to move into cover. So we're going to take it and we're going to move him right here, right next to his buddy there, right on that tree, and he is in cover. So it means that he can see my mech and I can possibly see him. All right, the terrain is not in between us. He is just in cover. Morale again. And this is where everything we see if it is an actual enemy force. All right, I rolled a 4 and a 6 and 1 success. So just like the other one, it's going to be rolling 3d6 the next time. It's still a possible enemy force. We're not sure yet, but something is out there. Okay, so we are starting with turn 2 now. And now it's back to me, to my mech. And we've got to figure out now, my objective is over there. Okay, I have a clear sight to one of the spaces, and then I have to return and come back to my deployment area. So that's definitely going to probably spark some engagement. Okay, so we'll finally see some combat. But in the meantime, if I go after them, which I can because I can see them, they're in cover. That's going to stop me. That's going to kind of bog me down in combat. There's always the chance that they screw me up because they do outnumber me. Or should I go and at least complete the first half of the objective? I could go 2 ways, because if I destroy them all, I'm not doing any reinforcements. If I destroy them, then I win the game. Either way, okay? So for the time being, I'm gonna take my mech and I'm gonna move to that section. That's the beauty of this kind of gaming, board gaming. So he's gonna move to this square. Okay, and then I'm just gonna turn him around. And that's it. So the problem is that I have to activate on that square. I didn't activate on that square. I activated on this square. So I have to wait till next turn and spend a turn there. All right, so now I'm using 3d6. No, I'm sorry, that was for the resolution. For the movement, I only use 2d6. For the resolution, I'm going to be using 3d6. So, okay, PF movement, 2d6. I have a 6 and a 4, so that's 1 success. The first PEF does not move. Okay, he does not move. So now there's a piece of terrain in between us, so I can't really see him. Okay, so now he's completely hidden and he can't see me, so he cannot resolve. So now we're going to take the second PEF. All right, let's see. I'm going to re-roll that because it's a 3 and a 5. All right, a 3 and a 4. So this one does get to move. Now, for the resolution, first let's move him. So he's going to move here into cover, but he can still see me, and I can see him. And now he's going to roll 3 dice because this is the resolution, and that was the something is out there from last roll. So we're doing 3 dice. We take the 2 lowest. Okay, and he rolls a 3, a 1, and a 5. So the 2 lowest is 2 successes. Contact. So we roll a 1d6. He rolls a 3, which means 1 enemy squad. So we're going to put a squad of tanks. So Hishin reveals itself. Take out this PEF. Now tanks can be, the vehicles once revealed can be up to 4 inches away from each other. So they don't have to be in one little cluster. They can be all around this, okay? Because they, as long as they're 4 inches away, and this one is probably, yeah, we're going to put him there so he's not too far away. And so they, as long as they're 4 inches away from each other, cohesion, they're fine. They don't have to be in one little cluster. And they're treated as individual figures. So I am way outnumbered at this point. Okay, so they have revealed. All right, so it is turn 3. I'm going to activate my mech, but he's not going to go anywhere. All right, and you don't have to move. You can stay in one place. I'm going to activate him, and in order to satisfy the objective, he has to stay close to the table edge there. He's going to activate, and that's it. Basically, I'm going to just turn him to face the enemy and brace myself. And that'll complete the activation part of the objective. And now I have to run back to my deployment edge, and then the game is done. And I've completed my objective. Of course, they're going to try and destroy me before I do that. All right, so that's the end of that. And now it's their turn. All right, so MPEs now can move. And their main objective is to destroy me. So they're going to move to this section first, get into a firing position, and yes, they are pretty close. Okay, I'm going to move them right there, and now they can fire. But before, so what happens is because you have an order of actions. Usually shooting is on the first order of actions. However, in this case, if they want to shoot me, they have to move. So they're just going to take a -1 to their rep because they already moved and they're doing the shooting out of action. Okay, so now we are rolling on the battle maneuver table. This is going to tell me if who has an advantage or if there is an advantage. 3 dice for the mech because mechs get an extra bonus dice being that they're larger. And we have the 2 dice for the tanks. So this is done against rep. In addition, the black dice have a -1 to rep because again, they are smaller. So from rep 4, they go down to rep 3 and I get a bonus dice. All right, let's see who has the advantage in this case. Again, this game is not exactly I go, you go. So, all right, wow, we have a lot of high numbers. So basically, the black dice have 2 6s. So the black dice have 2 6s. That is 2 failures. So they have no effect. We can go to the action table there. And then I have, my rep is 5. I have 2 successes. Okay. So that's 2d6 more. They have 0. So 2 successes more. than my opponent. So going to the table, it means a success. Go to the action table and the loser counts -1 to rep and presents their side armor. So basically I have some kind of advantage here. So they present their side armor. Of course they have turrets, so they can still shoot, but we're gonna do this. Oh, I'm sorry, and it's only one. I have to remember, it's figure by figure. So it's only one figure. That figure, for whatever reason, has exposed its side armor. Maybe its commander hesitated or something, made a mistake in maneuvering, and basically now I have an advantage. So now we go to the action table. So in the action table, 6 is always a failure, and we already have an advantage, so we skip that. We don't have to roll that for the action table. Okay, so I have a 4 and a 3, which is 2 successes. So basically my mech passed 2 successes. They only passed with 1 success. They had a 6 and a 3. So I have 1 more success than they do. Means that I get to shoot and do my actions in order. So the first action that I do, so you notice how they came in with the intention of shooting at me, but all of a sudden everything turned around and I'm the one with the advantage and all that. So that's the interesting mechanic to this game. So, okay, so now I go through shooting, and now we follow a strict order of actions. So shoot is first. So I'm gonna take my 2 dice, and this is done against my rep of 5. Score of 6 is always a failure. So let's see, do I have any abilities? And I do not. I only have rage. And see what my results. So I have to pass at least 2d6 to hit my target. So I rolled a 6 and a 3. Now that's 1 success. So 1 success is I miss if the target is in cover or is in hull down. Otherwise hit. Okay, so he is not in cover and he's not in hull down. So I did not miss, actually. So basically I can go to the penetration table, because it told me that I miss if the target is in cover. So if there was cover there, then yes, I would miss. And that is the purpose of cover. That's why enemies always move from cover to cover. Strength of the weapon is the APR. Armor piercing of the weapon. My APR is a 9. So I have a very powerful weapon on that mech. Okay, he is a medium mech. Their APR is 9. The front of the actually it's the side of the light tank is only a 1. So if I subtract that from my APR, it makes it an 8, which means that I hit automatically. Okay, because you roll an 8 or under on a d6, it's gonna hit automatically. However, any 6 that I roll is always a failure, so I still have to roll, because if I roll a 6, it doesn't hit, or it doesn't penetrate. So let's roll our successes and hope that no 6s are rolled. And I rolled 2 5s. Okay, there are my 2 5s. I rolled 2 5s, so that's 2 successes, because I'm doing it against my rep. 2 successes mean tank mech explodes, any structures collapse. So if they were in a building, the structure would collapse. All inside the tank or mech are obviously dead. Okay, so boom, first one out. Didn't even get a chance to retaliate. It's pretty much gone. Okay, so now we have to do a will to fight test, because even though I won the fight, I mean, we were engaged in combat, it will determine whether I stay on the board or not. And if I don't stay on the board, that means I don't complete my mission, right? So I lost my nerve. Roll just a -1d6. Now I was outnumbered. So that is a circumstance that I have to add. Ooh, this is not good. The game could end right here, guys. So outnumbered. Okay, so let me roll. 1 die, and I do get to re-roll it if it fails. A 6 is always a failure, and I'm taking it against my rep of 5. I rolled a 1, so I'm good. So 1d6 passed. Star Army, carry on. Okay, so there we go. So that's the column I'm in. And it lists all the factions and what they do and carry on. So I get to continue the fight. All right, my turn, turn 4. Okay, and I want to highlight a rookie mistake. For the turns, when you start the turn, you want to do an activation roll. That means simply you roll the one with the highest number, and according to the rep that they have, if you roll higher, then you get to activate first. That could really change things, you know, because maybe the PEFs don't get to react first. I get to react first. So at the beginning of every turn, you want to roll the activation. That's a rookie mistake. I did it the first turn, didn't do it the subsequent turns. So very important to note that. Okay, this game again is about, you know, if I see you, okay, I see you, but will you get to shoot me first? Will you react first? And that's the whole reason for the reps. Reputation. That's what determines whether you're quick enough or good enough to really outwit your enemy. Okay, so that's very important. Do I want to be a coward and skip that PEF and complete my mission? Yes, I do. I want to be a coward for this particular part, and then we are going to go back and kind of resolve the PEF just as a little bonus thing. So first things first, I'm going to try to move 2 squares, which is a fast move, and in order to do that, here it is, to roll 2d6 against my rep. If I get 2 successes, I can move 2 squares. If I get 1 success, I re-roll, counting the result of a 1d6 pass as 2d6 if I am a light tank or mech. Others count as passing 0d6. All right, I don't have to worry about that, so there's a good chance that I can do the 2 square movement. That's going to put me right in my deployment zone. All right, so let's do it. Rep a 5. I got a 6 and a 5, but I do get to re-roll 1. The 5 is good. Let's see, what do I get? Pass 1d6, re-roll. Okay, and see if I pass it. I rolled a 1 this time, so 2d6. Yes, I rolled a 5 and a 1. So basically, my mech can skip over fast, boop, right to my deployment zone. And there it is. The game is over because I'm a coward and I decided to skip that guy. All right, let's just do a quick sample combat with the other mech so we can see a stronger enemy. So now we have to roll for advantage on the action table. That's the way I'm doing it. So now he rolls 1d6 for advantage. Because we didn't get an advantage result in the previous table, we're just going to see if he does, which technically I would think he does. I'm presenting my side armor. But I rolled a 5, stationary, that is a pass. So yes, he does have an advantage because he didn't move. So 4, 5, a 6 result gives him an advantage. So now he rolls. Okay, so now we roll on the action table. Now the side with the advantage always passes. If I get an even result, like if we both have the same number of passes, same number of successes, then the side with the advantage will take it. So I have to beat him in order to be able to act first. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that. All right, so I can. Rep 5. I'm at rep 4 because I have a -1. So he rolled a 4 and a 2. 2 successes. I rolled 2 successes. Unfortunately, that's not gonna beat him because he has the advantage. So he counts as if he's passed, and he gets to shoot first. So he's gonna now shoot. See how many successes he gets. He has rep 4. Ooh, a 3 and a 1. That is 2 successes. Now we go to the penetration table, and I'm presenting my side. So now we're doing it against APR. So his APR is an 8 minus my side, which is a 3. So 8 minus 3, so that's a 5. So he needs 5 or under. Okay, let's see how many successes. Yes, 2 4s. Oh, 2 4s is 2 successes. Tank, mech explodes. All inside on tank or mech are obviously dead. So you saw some very different results to this one, okay? Very different results. All right, we'll just put it there. Very different results to this one. I would be destroyed, and that is it. Mission over, okay? So I just wanted to provide a little sample with a stronger enemy to see. Now, how do I get these enemies before the game? You roll on a table and it tells you whether they're light tanks, you know, medium mechs, heavy mechs, light mechs, whatever it is. So I came up with this combination, and normally there would be 3 mechs there. And of course, when the next game that I play, we'll have 3 of my own mechs as well. So we're going to be playing with little groups rather than just one mech. I just wanted to do this simple. So let's say I was playing a campaign. I just want to show this little section. I will get 3 dice because I'm going by the first mission. I succeeded, so I get an extra d6. Hishin gets 2 d6. And we are rolling against the morale, which if you remember, the mission morale was 4. However, very important. I played a patrol mission, so normally I wouldn't be doing this for a patrol mission. But let's say I was playing an attack mission, okay? An attack mission, and this is determined in the beginning of the game. So an attack mission or a defend mission will then have me rolling on the shifting morale, okay? So we skip this if we're playing a patrol. But let's say this was an attack mission. So I rolled a 4, a 1, and a 1. They rolled a 5 and a 3. So they rolled 1 success, which means that they have bad news. Campaign morale drops 1 point. If they reach 0, faction vacates the planet. So they drop by 1 point. Their next game, it's going to be 3 morale. Okay, so if I win again, they're going to be, and they get a different result. Maybe they go down to 0. They vacate the planet, campaign over for that planet. Okay, once they reach 0, campaign over. Or on my side, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3 successes. So 2 or more means fight on. Campaign morale remains the same for me. Okay, so there you go. So whichever side reaches 0 first, that's what happened. Basically, campaign is over on that planet, and they have to vacate the planet. The enemy wins, okay? Now, to determine the next mission, I played a patrol. So my next mission is going to be attack, okay? And if I had lost the game, then I would be on the defensive, and the enemy would be attacking, okay? So that's all I wanted to say about campaigns. All right, so game over either way. One version I win, one version I lose, and that's pretty much it. Major mistake, rolling for activation in the beginning of the turns. That is one thing that can change things. Also, if those tanks had a chance and were not undergunned, they would have been reacting fire. We would have been shooting at each other, eliminating each other one at a time. Because again, in this game, you don't wait for the enemy's turn to be over before you can fire back. No, it's a constant I fire, you fire. Unless, of course, you are destroyed, in which case you cannot fire. So there you go. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. This is one of the games I purchased. I will be doing more with 5150 with these new 2022 versions of the game. They're definitely more streamlined, I think, than the older 5150. But I like the older ones too. I mean, if you want a more detailed kind of RPG style game with more like weapon details and all that stuff, then yeah, the older versions are definitely what you wanna do. But if you want a more streamlined kind of version, yeah, this is definitely it. So this is the Total War series. There are 3 games in the Total War series, and Star Army is one of them, and then you have Star Navy, which is the spaceship one. So I want to try all of them. All right, folks, thank you very much. I hope this is to your liking, and again, I am demonstrating as many games as possible in the indie category. That's what I prefer to play, and give these games a little more exposure. Thank you very much, and we'll talk in the next video.